Well, it's been a long time since we've heard Scottsdale Mom. This bluesy music is all we hear lately. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the 12th straight PHNX Coyotes Pack Therapy postgame show. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah here with Petey. We got Danielle behind the Mac. Craig was so disgusted by this game, he walked off. Oh, wait. So we invited Raz to fill in. Craig, you just disappeared. We didn't know where you were.
Hey, everybody. I'm sitting this one out.
Yeah. So Craig will be back later, but we wanted to invite Raz to make his PHNX Coyotes debut. No.
It's not a knock on Raz. It's just like everybody tunes in for Craig. Bougie Craig.
Well, Craig will be on so they can stick around to see him. But but Raz, our intern, if you don't know, he's making his on-camera debut. So welcome. Yeah, Raz had a story. Go phnx.com. Go give it a read about this losing streak. So it's still
Great
relevant,
topic,
Raz.
Still fun to write.
But let's give our initial reactions. And Raz, I'm going to throw it over to you because you watched this game maybe a little more closely than me and Petey did. Let's just be brutally honest here. So what were your overall thoughts on this one, Raz?
You know, I thought it was a better effort overall than the past couple of games we've seen. But the first period started off kind of the same way that it did against the Leafs and the Oilers. Lots of penalties. And again, one of the biggest things that has occurred during this losing streak has been playing from behind. And they got down early. Schmaltz was able to get a goal, but it wasn't enough to tie the game or take the lead into the second period. I tweeted before the second period that it would be crucial for the Coyotes to get the lead after before Kyle Connor scored, but obviously that did not happen, and it kind of drained the momentum from the Coyotes. But moving on to the second period, it's been their best period during this losing streak for sure. That's when they come back and they make games close. One thing I did like that we didn't see in the last couple games was Ingram being able to make a couple huge saves that Vejmelka or Villalta couldn't really. I know against the Leafs, there was that Nylander breakaway, and then a John Tavares direct shot just from the top of the circle that, Vejmelka probably could have been able to handle, but he didn't, and the game again got away from the Coyotes. But the third period I thought was solid, and another thing was their forecheck. The Bukestad line, and as well as Maccelli, they forechecked really great, and they kept the Jets in their zone a lot of the game. And I do want to shout out Jason Zucker because I thought he had one of the best games that I've seen him play. Just the way he was working, it was phenomenal tonight.
Yeah, and I think you brought up a lot of really good points. And the first one is the penalties. And when you talk about this team, what they've been able to do in the first periods for so many games, they hurt themselves. And when you're sitting in the penalty box for this team, they give up the first two goals, or on their first two penalties, they give up goals and they're down 3-1. And if you're going to penalty kill like that, you can't take penalties. And so it's really frustrating because there were so many positives today that we haven't seen over the last couple of weeks. And it's funny you talk about the forecheck because I think that was one of the keys to this Coyotes team against Winnipeg. Mm-hmm. I thought they were physical on the Winnipeg defense. I thought they were able to turn pucks over below the goal line against the Winnipeg Jets and create opportunities. So there were some positives. It's just the same little things that crept back into the game. They were so close, and I know we've talked about being close before. You can't do it to yourself. The team's not good enough to sit in the penalty box, not good enough to turn pucks over. They're not good enough to play poor defensively, and they can't win. And they were so close against a team that I think is really a dark horse in the Western Conference. So I thought they kept it close. Ingram was good. I think getting him back into action, I think it's imperative for them to finally get a win. Close, but just not close enough.
Yeah, and you talked about getting down to start the game too. I mean, Scheifele scores 2 minutes and 6 seconds in. It feels like at this point, if you bet on your BetMGM app, Coyote or goal against in the first 10 minutes or goal in the first 10 minutes, the other team goal in the first 10 minutes, it's a lock at this point. And we've talked a lot over this losing streak about goals allowed in the first 10. Well, how about goals allowed in the first 5? They said on the broadcast the Coyotes have allowed 20 goals in the first 5 minutes this season, which is insane. That's an insane number. And I believe it's a goal in the first 5 minutes for 5 straight games.
Yeah, and that's the difference, though. But Leah, I don't know how many times I have to talk about this. Like, what is the preparation from Coach Tournier in the locker room before they drop the puck that you're going to lock it down for 5 minutes? Like, how hard is that? Lock it down for 5 minutes. Well, I don't even give a shit if we get a shot on net. Don't care. Really don't care offensively. We need to lock it down for 5 minutes. When that clock hits 15, we're going to turn it up offensively. But that first 5 minutes, let's just get through this. That means when the puck's dumped into our zone, off the glass and out. When we get over the red, let's get it in. Play it as simple as you can, as safe as you can for 5 minutes. Because like you said, for 5 straight games, they've given up the first goal in 5 minutes. You're behind the 8 ball before you even start. Like, just get through that first 5 minutes. And I think it's such an emotional hurdle for them that I really think if they could get 0-0 5 minutes in, I think that's a win on the bench. I think that gets guys fired up. So against Montreal on Tuesday, they have to lock it down the first 5 minutes. If they can get through that first 5 minutes, they've got a chance to win a hockey game. They just haven't done that.
Yeah, because they're chasing from behind the whole time. And yeah, let's get into the numbers in this one, presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes. Let's check it out. Shots on goal. I mean, pretty even in this one, 32-32. They really held their own. This was the big difference, was the power plays. Winnipeg 2 for 3, Coyotes 1 for 2. Shot attempts, Coyotes had 61-59. So everything was pretty much equal. It's just when you look at that power play line, and Raz, you mentioned it off the top, just the penalties in the first period alone, the Coyotes took 3 in the first, 1 in the second, and it cost them.
Yeah.
So,
and I know Petey mentioned it a little bit before there, but I did mention in my story that before this game, they had the penalty kill operating at 75.6%. And when you look at that in reference to the entire league's penalty kills percentage, it's just under the 6th worst. And currently that's Nashville holding that stat. Yeah. So when you're going to, I mean, when you're taking penalties, you should be at least trying to kill the majority of them. Otherwise, that's what happens, right?
So. His story up on PHNX.com right now?
Yeah.
It is.
Let's go read it.
Yeah.
So,
I'm in.
Yeah, I didn't read it. Sorry. But it's because I don't read anything. But I don't. It's not looking mad at me. I've worked all day. I can read it now, though, right?
Man.
After? Good job, Raz.
Yeah.
Raz is getting what?
He's not literate.
Craig just yelled, Petey's not literate from off the set. And Craig is very much in the chat right now as well.
Wrong.
Chris said, Raz debut, better than the game. I love it. I know, that analysis off the top, I'm like, Craig, your job might be in danger here.
Exactly.
We'll see. We'll stick on the negatives for a second, and then we'll highlight a couple of the positives. I think the biggest question mark right now is Clayton Keller, who left the game after the second period with an upper body injury. We went back and watched that final shift. There was nothing really noticeable about that shift that he was on.
And it's funny because Christian brought up that Gunther sat out a lot of the second period too. I'd be very surprised if he was benched. If Keller is hurt 3 minutes into the second period, Keller, we watched the entire shift. He skated up the ice, he skated back down the ice. Not one physical contact on the entire shift. And on his way back, he full out skate back into his own defensive zone. He pulls up. And he skates slowly back to the bench. No physical contact, no idea. But there is no way with Keller out of the lineup with an injury that Dylan Gunther's not playing. He's not benching him for issues, or he's getting benched for his poor play. If Gunther's not out there in the second period, it's equipment or injuries. Like, there's no way he's being benched when Keller's not playing. So Keller's a concern, a huge concern. He drives the offensive bus for this team, and if he's not there against Montreal. But we saw Schmaltz pick up the slack, but
yeah, it's
a concern. Hopefully it's not a long-term thing with Clayton Keller. And hopefully by the time Craig decides he wants to work, he's found something else.
Maybe that's what he's doing right
now. But
he
loves this. Like, here's what you want to, let's talk about Craig.
As he's just sitting off to the side.
So he's, you know how happy and content he is? He's like a little kid.
I can hear his typing because he's the loudest typer of all time.
So content. I don't have to be on camera. I don't have to talk. I can just chat in here and type. Like Craig might do this for a living now. Raz, you might be stuck here with us.
Oh my goodness. Well, the Coyotes haven't beaten the Winnipeg Jets since November 29th, 2021.
And that was once. Like, let's face it.
And the streak continues.
When this team first moved to Winnipeg, the Coyotes couldn't beat this team. It took years. Like it took Vejmelka's shutout. Like that was the first win. Like they didn't win. Dave Tippett never beat this Winnipeg Jet team in Winnipeg. Never, not once. Didn't Vejmelka shutout. That was it. On a really bad Coyote team.
All right. Well, let's highlight some of the positives. We talked about Nick Schmaltz, who he had a really great game tonight. Scored 2 goals, his 15th and 16th of the season, and turned it on like we said once Keller was out there in the third period. Raz, what did you see from Schmaltz today?
Yeah, I thought this was the first game in a while that he was actually noticeable. I know I've been talking with a couple people just off to the side of how I haven't really liked what I've seen from Nick Schmaltz, but when you see a star player like Keller go down, it's important to see that he is someone that can actually be relied on to score some goals. So I thought that was a great step in the direction for Schmaltz himself and also for the team. Yeah. Yeah,
but it's funny because with Nick Schmaltz, he's a guy that's been with Keller all season.
Yeah.
And over the last 3 games now, he's been demoted, I guess. So he hasn't played with Keller. And his name has been rumored in trade deadline rumors. I don't think he's going to get traded at the trade deadline, by the way. I think he makes too much money, but that's a whole nother issue for another show. The point is, I think today was one of those times where he got the little chip on his shoulder, like, oh, you're gonna put me down, put me down the line. Yeah. I like Nick Schmaltz. I think Nick Schmaltz is an incredibly talented hockey player. I think his speed, his skill with the puck, his hands. All of those things are great. The knock has always been his ability to do it consistently. Mm-hmm. And I think that I love him when he's on top of his game. The problem is he's not on top of his game often enough. Right. And when you saw him today, quick on pucks, got to the net hard, good shot. That's what Nick Schmaltz can do. And the problem is you want to see him do that more often. So hopefully, if Keller is out of lineup, Schmaltz can pick up some of that slack.
Right.
Yeah, and Schmaltz, he's someone who has been quiet in games, like you mentioned, but he earned his flowers today, and he also earned the desert dog in him. Nick Schmaltz, 2 goals, 5 shots on goal, led the team not only in shots, but led all forwards in time on ice as well. So congrats to Nick Schmaltz, almost carried them to the win if it wasn't for him and Sean Durzi colliding in overtime. That was so tragic. It was slow motion. Durzi had a great chance in overtime.
Unbelievable.
They collide.
Through everybody.
And just the way overtime works.
Coast to coast.
Like, if you have 2 guys down, that's 1 guy left, Barrett Hayton, there was nothing he could do on the 3-on-1. And it was
guy.
I mean, like, you could just see it coming from a mile away. It was just the most Coyotes way to end a game of all time.
Yeah, no chance.
And you'd have to think that, for the first time in a while, getting that close to a win and going out that way must almost feel worse than getting pumped 5-0.
Yeah, it's disheartening for that room for sure, because that Durzi's play up the ice. If you get a chance to see it on Twitter or on NHL.com, see the goal. Durzi, unbelievable move. He goes coast to coast, fantastic moves, loses an edge, and he takes Schmaltz out behind the net, and it's a 3-on-1 with Scheifele, Morrissey, and Kyle Connor. Yeah. Winnipeg's 3
most doesn't get more lethal than that.
Yeah. So you got no chance. Yeah. Ingram had no chance. Hayton's got no chance. It
literally happened in slow motion. It was
a Coyotes way.
It was tragic. Yeah.
Total Coyotes way.
Nicholas
to lose the game.
said throw-in was kind of hilarious. We laugh so we don't cry. There's also a lot of praise in our chat today for Kesselring. We saw him drop the gloves earlier in the game. A lot of people saying that was one of Kesselring's better games.
It's funny. I talked to, when we were we had an event at the Four Peaks 8th Street Pub, and we'll talk about that later, but I was talking to two gentlemen from Seattle, and I was at their table right when the Kesselring fight happened, and they're going, is that the right thing to do? Because there was a delayed penalty and the Coyotes were on a 3-on-2 at the time, And I said, if someone hits your goal, you got to fight them. Like, you have to fight
Yeah.
them. It's the unwritten code rule of the game. If they bump your goal, you got to fight them. So Kesselring stood up for his teammate. He stood up for his goalie. I thought that was a good fight. And Kesselring's, you know what? He's had glimpses all season. I like the kid. I think he's still got a lot to learn from the red line in, his rush reads and his defensive line coverage. But he'll improve on that. Again, it was a good game. I'm glad to see him stick up for his teammate. But I still think he's got a little ways to go.
I like the idea that Kesselring is kind of your bigger guy, but he also is a little mobile with the puck as well, and he can make that quick move to make a pass. So I thought we saw a lot of that today too, which was good.
Craig, he actually watches the game. I'm just saying.
One last guy.
Is Craig watching Netflix over there?
I don't know.
Helping my movie.
Craig, Craig's watching
Like,
a movie.
You think we're kidding? There's audio coming. Craig's got Netflix going. He just got some popcorn. He got it before Bo Brack and Mac got into it. Mac, if you're listening, Bo Brack, we know it's you, Mac.
Oh, but we still. And Lindsay Smith, we think you ate them.
That's just awful.
Okay, but that's for another time.
Yes.
One last guy we'll talk about before we
Yes.
Force Craig back on the set. Matias Maccelli, he scores his 10th of the season. He's a guy who I felt like had been a little bit quiet for a stretch, but it seems like he's really turned it on. Coming into today, he had 3 points in his last 3 games, adds a goal today. I like what I've seen from Matias Maccelli lately as well. So hopefully he continues to keep that on, because right now he's on pace to have a pretty good season here in the end. But you want to see, all of your lines contributing. And I feel like that line, it's been a little bit quieter as of late. So to see Maccelli get it going, and we saw Bukestad get it going the other day. Now if Kraus can also lock in and we can get that second line buzzing, hopefully that'll mean a win here.
They're super close there. That one chance, just on the line.
But I thought that line's good, and I thought this was a game for that line to be good, and they've been good against the Jets in their other 3 games because they forecheck so well, like you talked about earlier. And Leah, I don't know if you saw that very important question from late last night.
Oh, but
Raz.
before we let you go, Raz, what toppings do you like on a hot dog?
Oh. Well, I got to go with the classic ketchup mustard.
You hear that, Craig?
Yeah, ketchup is a must on a
Yeah.
hot dog. I'm sorry.
Thank
Yay,
you.
buddy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nicholas, Pellegrino or Schweppes. Raz is in college. Like, buddy, it's tap, right? Like, when you're in college, it's whatever you get your hands on.
It was so funny before the show. Raz is like, is there a water fountain? I was like, we have a water thing in here with cups. He's like, I'll just go to the water fountain.
When you're in college, you're like,
so bad.
when we're in college, it wasn't like Pellegrino or Schweppes. There's no way I was doing sparkling in college.
Yeah.
Buddy, are you doing sparkling water
No,
yet?
fortunately, don't got the funds for that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
sparkling water.
Exactly.
Craig did in prep school.
Goodness. Raz, anything else you want to add before we let you go? And you'll get your time back on the camera again soon. We appreciate you sitting in. But any final thoughts before we let you get out of here?
No, I'm just happy to be here. Excited to make my debut, and I hope to be back on here soon.
Raz,
Awesome. Well,
you were fantastic.
Yeah, you were amazing.
Thank you,
and
guys.
please go read Raz's story. Go
Yes,
PHNX.com.
that would be great.
Yeah. Give it a read, especially now that they lost again tonight. I feel like it feels especially more relevant. So, Raz, thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Yeah,
and
we
by
do.
the way, Raz does great work for us. He's not just writing his stories, but a lot of the videos you see on our Twitter, it's courtesy of Raz, especially on the home games.
From north of the border, Calgary area, played goal.
A fellow Canadian, likes ketchup on hot dogs.
And he's a goalie.
One more, and he's a goalie. So, I mean, he fits right into right here. Raz, thank you.
Thank you.
Let everyone know where they can follow you on Twitter.
Follow me at Raz Devraj.
Perfect. There you go.
Fantastic.
All right.
Raz.
Well, we'll bring Craig back in, and
We
while
have
we
to?
do, I guess. I know he's like
Craig's
Offset,
pausing his
do
movie.
we have to?
Run, Forrest,
all right.
run.
Well, you guys make the swap. I'll tell you all about where Craig does his banking.
Where?
Desert Financial Credit
Is that
Union,
true?
of course. Craig is too good for our show right now, but he's not too good for Desert Financial because Desert Financial has taken care of him with his money, with mortgages, savings accounts, loans, checking accounts.
How about retirement, Leah? Can they help with that?
They absolutely can.
Fantastic.
Whatever you need from a bank, Desert Financial
Raz's
Credit
discount,
Union.
Craig Morgan.
Chair's very warm.
When you open a free checking account online right now at Desert Financial, you get $200 in bonuses. So make sure you get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200.
And then go to the Arizona Lottery because they are introducing a new ticket promotion called Arizona Adventure. And there are 3 ways to win. 1, buy the tickets. Easy enough.
Yep.
Arizona Adventure, 3 scratchers, buy them. 3 iconic Arizona locations, buy them. Then you know what you can do, Leah?
What? Petey?
You can check in and geolocated adventures in 10 destinations across the state from Flagstaff to Yuma, including the Hole in the Rock at Papago Park, which we did today. And we checked in and we got our Arizona adventure chances to win up to $1 million in Arizona lottery
it was
prizes.
so easy
and,
to check
and
in,
Arizona travel prizes. So easy to check in. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
The walk wasn't easy because it was hot and I wore pants, but that's a whole nother
The
story.
walk was easy. It was very short. So
It was short.
Yeah, but I'm complaining
yeah,
It was
about
easy.
anything. We'll talk about it later in the show. But if
Yeah.
you want to take part in Arizona adventures, go to easyadventures.com for details and directions. And you just need to check in at the destination's coordinates on the website, and you're automatically entered up to $1 million in cash and travel prizes. Or you can also enter your tickets online that are losers to enter those tickets online to win $1 million in cash and Arizona travel prizes. You know what you have to do? The Arizona Lottery is not just about playing games and winning prizes. It is also about giving back to the state and its communities. Visit azadventures.com for more information on how you can take an adventure for a chance to win $1 million in cash and Arizona travel prizes. Thank you to the Arizona Lotteries and your part in walking and talking.
yeah. And Kelly said I won $10 on the scratchers.
Buddy.
I won today at the meetup. Also, Vagoda won I think $20, and then Chris won $10. So
There's Chris right there. I won $10.
yeah, won $10.
She
so,
got paid to listen to us.
Yeah, literally, there were like I think almost everyone.
Which people probably
who-
should get paid
I
to listen
agree.
to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think almost everyone who, because the people who won the scratchers
They-
at our
yeah,
event, they won
'cause
three,
they had a raffle.
and I'm pretty sure
We raffled.
almost every single person won money.
We raffled.
So
fun.
thank you, Arizona Lottery. Such a fun event today. We'll talk more about all that later. But Craig, welcome to the show. How
Thank
was
you.
your Netflix? What were you
I
watching?
mean, I don't want to talk about that. Okay.
Okay.
This was really good.
Yeah, Raz was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Stick taps in the chat
That's
for
why I said
Raz.
Yeah,
the
somebody
seat
said
is
stick
warm.
taps to Raz.
I'm on the hot seat now.
Yeah, the literal hot seat.
Literal hot
hot
seat.
seat.
So,
By the
Craig-
way, Andre Tournier said didn't really have an update on Clayton Keller. He's not sure.
Really? But we
So-
don't know what happened.
We don't even know what happened.
Weird.
We watched the shift. He's
Nothing.
back checking. He curls back up ice and suddenly just stops skating. No contact. Couldn't figure out what happened.
Weird.
So we'll have to wait till tomorrow.
Too
I
many hot
guess.
dogs? Never mind.
What?
Well, in Montreal, that could be an issue. You got to go to the restroom. Too many hot dogs to get on. Like that's me on my morning
Next
walk
stop,
with the dog. The
the
first
Sheehan
walk
shows.
with the dog. So I have a very high fiber diet because I'm old, and
Are
we're
we
walking
here
the
right
dog
now?
at
I'm
5:30 in
afraid
the
where
morning.
this is going.
So we have a code. So me and my wife walk the dog early in the morning. We often run into neighbors. And they want to visit. Well, there are times that I need to,
Okay.
That's where I thought we were going.
and so I need to go.
As
So
I mentioned to the
so I
diehards who
go-
showed up at Four Peaks today, Petey had a couple beers, so I had
So
no idea what was coming
we
tonight.
have a code. It's I have to hurry up and get home and boot up the computer. So that's our little code. So it happened today.
Gotta boot up the-
So we met Laura on the walk with her dog Addison, and I said, "Oh Heidi,
Can't.
I have to go
can't.
boot up the computer, even though it's Sunday morning at 7 a.m. I gotta go.
I think you need a better phrase than that because it just sounds a little odd.
Well, okay, I gotta work. I gotta go boot up the computer. That was it.
All right, Craig. Since you have yet to give your thoughts, what were your thoughts on this one?
I don't know. I didn't watch it. Let's be honest. You know where we were today. We were hiking. We were at Four Peaks. We were talking to. Can I say the number
Yeah,
now?
of
Because I did a
course.
head count.
Yeah.
I did a head count. There were 40 people at Four Peaks today
That was great.
for our diehard
Yeah,
event.
thank
and,
you to
we watched a
everybody.
little bit of the game,
And if
but
all
I
these
just-
people that are out of town would love to be there. Like I know Shelby.
I know.
To be there.
If, if we could
Riley
like
Riles would've
teleport
been there.
everyone there, I know it would have been closer to
it's got to be
100.
eating. It's got to be eating at this club. This is so hard. You get close again, and then you have that calamity behind the net in the offensive zone, and you give up a 3-on-1 and you lose. It's almost like just fates are against the Coyotes right now. I feel badly for them.
I do
I
too.
feel badly for them. They got to get out of this at some point. I'm sure it's going to happen, but
I mean,
now we're talking about a 12-game winless streak, which is now the second longest in Coyotes history.
Yeah.
and they're chasing 15, right?
They're chasing 15. Yep.
What
from
year was that again?
2004.
Yep.
04?
Yeah, 04.
04.
Yeah.
That was a fine year. You remember that, Petey?
Who was coaching that
03,
team? in
04.
04? I really don't remember. Is that Bonus? Oh yeah, it was Bonus. It was Rick Bonus after
That's
Bobby
weird,
Francis
huh?
got
He was
fired.
on the other bench tonight.
Was that after Bobby Francis? And that team was horseshit.
Yep.
Like that was bad because Bobby Francis gets fired. They get to the trade deadline and they decimated the roster. And you looked around that room and you go, "Oh my goodness, we are bad." And I remember going to a team meal in that end of the 2004-05 season, and you look around and you go, like, there are so many guys here that they better soak this in because they are never, ever getting this close to the NHL ever again. Like, didn't belong there. This team isn't that bad.
Yeah.
They've just had a lot of bad breaks. It's been unfortunate because they should have had wins by now. They really should have. They've had leads that they lost. They've had bad starts. This team should have had a better faith in this. And I think a couple things, and Ras said it too, is when you talked about Ingram's play tonight, I think if he can do that and continue that through this trip, I think they get a win because I think they're facing teams like Montreal and they're facing Ottawa. And I know Washington's have a little bit of a streak, but they're not a great team either.
Nope.
If Ingram can put together a game like that against one of those three teams, I think this team does get a win on this trip.
And listen, like, I think if you're going to look at the tank, which we can do a tankathon later, like, to lose this one was big because Columbus won, Ottawa just recently won, like, they're on the up. So as far as where it's putting the Coyotes in draft position, that's great. However, like, for morale, like, they need to win this week. They need to win because it's just getting sad.
Yeah, and it doesn't inside the room, the draft position. Honestly, it doesn't matter.
They don't give a shit.
They need a win. This is miserable, and I mean it's miserable from everybody from Bill Armstrong down to the guy that helps pack the gear. It's miserable. Yeah, and you cannot help but bring this home. And I know it's hard on the fans, and they're pissed off. But they need a win. This team needs a win. I honestly believe I think they're going to get it. They may get it in Montreal on Tuesday.
Hopefully, we'll see. One other thing at Four Peaks today.
Oh my God, look at those names.
What?
Klinkhammer and Mark Arcabello. Like, those are Robert Lee. Those are some names. But I tell you what, big goals by Mark. Do you know Klinkhammer, Colonel? They called him the Colonel. Any Colonel Klink?
Yes.
No. Leah doesn't get it.
Yeah, Hogan's Heroes.
Do you know Klinkhammer? Is that before your time? Rob Klinkhammer?
Yeah, it's before my time.
Colonel Klink.
So before the game at Four Peaks, Craig was going around table to table and taking bets, basically. When will the Coyotes allow the first goal?
And I gave people first minute, second minute, third minute. Do we go to the fifth minute? Do we go beyond?
I was hopeful. I said 6. But
Leah Merrill was the only optimist in the room, by the way, who went past 5 minutes and said 6 minute. But the majority of people, 5 tables, said third minute. And in fact, that's when the first goal came.
And it was a hilarious scene because Winnipeg scores 2 minutes and 6 seconds into the game, and half of the group, they're all in Coyote shirts, cheer because they were right about when the Coyotes would get scored again. So that was a highlight for me. It was so funny. And
I have never seen Craig that fired up.
And listen, when you're a Coyotes fan and the team's lost 12 in a row, there's so much uncertainty. Sometimes you need to cheer when you're right about when the Coyotes are going to get scored against.
Got to find moments.
You have to find moments of joy.
Yep.
You have to find the joy somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. I found plenty of joy at Four Peaks.
Yeah. Yeah. Including chugging your beer at the last second. Okay.
Because Craig maybe leaves like my dad.
Yeah, should we talk about that later?
We'll talk about that later. Let's take a look at the Coyotes' upcoming schedule.
Really?
Yeah, and try to see where those wins will
come from. Are they leaving
from.
Canada yet? No.
Nope. So Montreal Tuesday, that could be a win. Toronto Thursday, depending. I don't know. Originally, we would say that's a lock, but Toronto is on fuego right now.
They're playing really well.
Ottawa on Friday, Washington on Sunday before heading
11
home.
a.m.?
11 a.m.
Oh, I talked to the Magic
crying.
behind the Mac today.
Yeah.
The Magic behind the Mac, Abrica Danielle, not happy about 11 o'clock game.
Either is Charles.
On Sunday?
Yeah.
Couldn't be happier. 11 a.m. in the morning.
3 of us. That is going to be our best postgame show ever.
Ecstatic. Move it up 2 more hours.
Buddy,
let's go 9 a.m. Let's go.
Abrica Danielle's like, in the morning?
Danielle and Charles are like scheming.
That is barely the morning, Danielle.
Like, Danielle, I want to insult you, but just be
Petey
ready for
and
it.
I have been up for 6 hours. So I'm
thinking Danielle and CWP, they might be vampires. Because they want to sleep in, they don't want to be around the daylight. Like 11 a.m. is perfect. Yeah. Like they should do 82 games at 11. I'm in. Danielle?
Me too. I would love that.
No?
I'm out. I'm out. If 82 games at 11, no, I'm out. I'm done.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, can we pull up the rest of the schedule really quick? Because I haven't even looked this far. The Coyotes return home after that. Mostly Canadian trip plus Washington, and then it's Chicago, Minnesota, Detroit. So there you go. That's a lot of games.
And Minnesota and Detroit are in fuego too. And here's what's funny. Because when we go back to early January with this team and they were in a playoff spot at the wild card, right? And we were saying the games are going to get more difficult. And you talked about those teams like Minnesota, St. Louis, Nashville, Calgary. All of those teams will be fighting for this last spot.
Mm-hmm.
All of those teams are on a tear.
Yeah.
And the only team that isn't is
The
Arizona.
Well, the Blackhawks, yeah.
But the
Yeah,
Arizona
yeah,
Coyotes
yeah.
were in that mix with all of the
Yeah,
teams
yeah,
we're
yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about.
It's crazy.
And they're
Yeah.
all going 7-3, 8-2, 9-1. And that's what you need to do.
Yep.
At this time of year, that's when you need to have these streaks. And we believe this, and we talked about it several times tonight. Arizona's going to have another winning streak right when you absolutely don't want them to.
After the trade deadline,
Yes.
somehow.
After the trade deadline, somehow with no players, injured players, they're going to win 5 in a row to take them out of a really good draft spot. Guarantee it's going to happen then, not when it really mattered now. But these other teams are really picking up. So when you see those teams on your schedule, like Detroit is on fire right now.
Yeah,
Patrick Kane's a point-a-game player.
I think they're going to get in. Yeah,
I do
think
too.
The Wings are going to get in. Good for them.
Patrick Kane wins in overtime tonight in Chicago. He's a point-a-game player. They blew up St. Louis over the weekend. I really like that. Minnesota's on fire. Like, we look at the schedule. They have to win one of these games against Montreal, Ottawa, or Chicago. Have to.
Or
Yep.
Washington. Either.
Washington too, yeah. Those
Yeah,
are 4
because
winnable
Mark
games.
said we will beat Chicago. I'm afraid that will be the next win. If that's the next win, I mean, there's a problem. Like, there has to be one in the next 7 days.
Yeah.
There just has to be.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, the Coyotes currently hold the 5th worst record in the NHL. So I'm going to run a quick Tankathon lottery right now. Oh my God, they won.
So did mine.
No.
Same thing.
No.
Can I put
Mark
it up
it.
to the camera?
Oh
2 Tankathons.
my God.
How about that? It's big. Clip it.
Wow.
Gary Bettman send it to the sphere.
Wow.
The Coyotes are picking first.
Wow.
2.
Wait, okay, so mine goes Arizona, Montreal, Chicago, San Jose, Anaheim.
That was
What
bizarre.
is yours?
That is
Go.
bizarre.
What's yours?
Sorry, I just erased it. So,
Craig!
but I showed it to you. I put it up on the screen.
It was not in focus at
Nah,
all.
who cares?
That's unreal.
I showed it to you.
2 at the
Oh
same
my
time.
God.
I think it's real.
Coyotes first.
I talked to a lot of people today at the
That was
the hole in
bizarre.
the rock at Papago Park, and several said they're going to win the lottery this year. It's finally due.
Macklin Celebrini.
Well, I think
Yep.
also this is like
It's
the
time to. Never mind.
no. Wait, what did we say? Oh no, what did we say? Slacking for Macklin. I think that because this year we've been like, ugh, like they're not going to win the lottery. That maybe they finally will. And
Can you
then
imagine? Like we're all going like, there's no chance,
yeah.
and then they
They
finally
do?
win the
For the
lottery and
first
get
time.
Macklin Celebrini.
That's what
Oh
the
my God.
CHGO podcast did. Like they have the jerseys printed for Bedard. Like, let's get the Celebrini love going. Let's
Yeah?
go. I'm
Okay.
in.
All right.
I'm in.
Oh,
Manifest
my
it.
goodness.
Sure.
That was wow. That was crazy. Anyway, all right.
Can we go home
well, good Lord. Well, we had a great time today. We're
did.
gonna talk about that next. But if you've never been to a PHNX event, maybe you don't live in the city, or you do, and you've just kind of been, maybe you've been on the fence about coming. Please come. It is so
Oh my
much
gosh.
fun. Today was a blast. We have more events planned. We have one planned for next month that we'll let everybody know soon. We're in the midst right now of planning a draft trip to Vegas. So
Yeah.
stay tuned for that. I've had so many people ask me about it. I promise that's coming soon. But we have some other great events coming up until our next event, which will be at the end of March. PHNX is taking over the Arizona versus ASU basketball game this week at Desert Financial Arena on the 28th at 7 p.m. So check that out. Food, drinks, tickets, and a fun game between our 2 college teams. And we'll be pre-gaming that one at Illegal Pete's. So
Nice.
that's the next event
I heard
coming up.
Salvo Bookman's giving away cars and trips as well, huh? No, it's not true, actually.
Plus, all of the D-backs takeovers are on the site now as well. And you know what one of the takeovers this year is?
What?
At the pool at Chase.
They have the pool?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
great. That's great. That's a good
it's
get.
not.
What?
Well, not for us.
Are you
buddy.
going to the
no,
pool?
hell no, I'm not going.
Craig in a Speedo?
No,
Like, buddy, no, thank you. Sorry, buddy. I like you, but
We could reprise Biz though. Biz could bring
Yeah,
up
maybe.
Speedo again and do
That's
that.
true.
yeah, I haven't been to
But-
to a pool party or swimming forever. It's not going to happen
No,
at
it's
PHNX.
not.
Diehards get first crack at that. So
For real?
Yeah. So become a diehard today.
Not
That's
happening
awesome.
for me.
Danielle, you were about to say something?
Oh, I was gonna say, Petey, I have a pool, and I would invite you to it, but you told me not to invite you to anything.
That's the
See,
first thing Petey taught Danielle.
learn. Don't invite me to anything.
Because he won't come.
I won't go. And I don't have to feel bad, and you don't have to feel bad. I
Except
won't
to
go.
parties at my house because you
Literally
don't want to know
nothing to
why.
do,
He
'cause
doesn't
you've
come
made
because
me.
we're
Because
friends.
Tara will threaten him.
He's afraid of Tara.
Yeah.
That's
That's
why
true.
he comes to
It's
my house.
literally true.
Yes.
So we're not friends.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Anyway, so many perks to becoming a diehard. 20% off.
I can't wait for the pool party. I may go.
PHNXlocker.com.
You won't go.
By the way,
I won't
so
go
many
home.
people rocking the PHNX shirts today.
Buddy,
It was so good to see.
fire.
A lot of people letting me know that the shirt they were wearing was the shirt they chose when they became a diehard, because you get a free shirt or hat when you sign up, and every year when you renew as well. So just one of the great perks of becoming a diehard. 20% off events, of course. Today was a free event, but there's plenty of events to come where you can save 20%. So become a diehard. Help support us. Join the family. It's a blast.
And then go to the BetMGM Sportsbook app, the official sportsbook app
Petey was giving out
of
winners
PHNX.
today.
And I will say this. Sports are way more fun when you have skin in the game. And if you would have made it to the watch along at the Four Peaks H3 Pub, you would have had some fantastic advice on the BetMGM Sportsbook app. As a matter of fact, I was giving out free advice to anyone that asked, Petey, what should I do? And they pulled up the BetMGM
No one
Sportsbook
asked.
app and they asked, is it true?
People
Am I lying?
did.
I know.
Am I lying?
Yes. No.
CWP, long time OG diehard CWP said, what do I bet on? BetMGM Sportsbook app open. I said, Shifley anytime. Winnipeg in the first 10 minutes. Within the first 10 minutes of that game, I made him money. Drew, who do I bet on? I told Drew all the bets to make. Drew. I made Drew money. And it's so easy to do on the BetMGM Sportsbook app. And it's also not only easy, it's fun because you got skin in the
fun.
game. And we're betting, hey, you can bet weenie bets. Leah bets weenie bets.
Literally.
$2, $3, $5. It's fine.
One.
But get
even.
some skin in the game because it makes it more fun. And it's easy to do. Sign up for the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Use the bonus code PHNX. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile application for at least $5. And you will receive $150 instantly in additional winnings, regardless if you win or lose your wager. Check out the show notes for details. And now, listen to Damon talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms. This promotional offer is not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
All right, now we need to talk about our day. And I'm sorry that if you couldn't make it, this might give you FOMO, but this was such a phenomenal day.
Unreal.
We have to recap everything. So we'll start from the beginning.
Look at that.
And we went to Hole in the Rock
Wow,
at
look at that.
Papago
That's
Park.
a really cool picture.
And
It's a great shot.
yes, we had the best time. Seriously, I mean, it was a little warm today, warmest day of 2024 so far, but not hot by Arizona standards by any means.
And Timo the dog in the front left.
Yes, Timo the dog, and I know Angela's here in the chat right now. And this, not even everyone made it in the picture because a few people rolled up right after this. But we, by the way, if you've never been there, it's a very
It's
short
really
walk,
cool. It's
but
easy.
it's such a cool view of the city through the little hole. So we just had an amazing time at Papago Park. It was really great to see the turnout. It was really nice to get outside and get active. And
No,
thank
it
you
wasn't.
again. Oh my gosh. Well, Petey decided to wear pants.
Well,
That was
because
his
I
own
wore
fault.
pants.
Being
That was
outside
fine.
isn't great. Look at Craig. I think he's just bougie cool. Like he wore a long sleeve shirt. There's me walking and talking.
No,
Is that
people
not
can't-
me?
No.
Is that down there?
So, yes.
Okay.
Okay, there's you.
me walking and talking.
Well, you know what
So-
I wore? I wore white.
I know, but PHNX shirts are black. What do you want me to do? I was walking and talking with Jackson. So not only on this event was it, thank you to the Arizona Lottery, phenomenal, where you can be part of the Arizona adventure just by logging in and going to the geolocation. It's easy to do, but we also got to walk and talk. And I got to walk and talk with my good buddy Jackson, which you can see here. And Jackson brought his stuffed monkey on the walk, which we talked about.
Yes.
So stay tuned. And you'll see some of this walking and talking footage from the Hole in the Rock in Papago Park sometime on Tuesday.
Yeah, so it was a blast. It was so nice to get outside. Thanks again to AZ Lottery for inspiring us to get outside. And thank you to everybody who came. It was sincerely so much fun. I'm so glad we got to just like be outside
awesome.
together.
Yeah.
We're so lucky to live in Arizona in February. Seriously. And it was so great seeing everyone because we really haven't done an event in a long time. It was
Yeah.
so nice to see a lot of people we haven't seen in a while. And we also met a lot of new people.
We did.
So that was great. And then we all headed over to Four Peaks. And as Craig already mentioned, we had 40 people turn out. It was phenomenal. They had everything on the big screen. Here's a photo. And this is even before
Yeah, that's
it
early.
got full. But
Filled in.
they had a really great setup for us. Did we all get the chicken tenders, by the way?
I did.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. Danielle?
Yep.
No,
oh,
I got
the Beyond
their,
Burger.
Yeah, I got their Beyond
Yeah,
Burger.
I forgot. You're a vegetarian.
The tendies were fire.
They were.
And I know we joke about it. Literally, the three of us got it.
Yeah.
And I pushed it on about everybody there. Molly Kelly, Molly went with the fish and chips. Yeah.
There was a lot of people try.
Beat it,
I saw
Molly.
nacho. Oh my God, I had the poutine as well as a
I
starter.
saw that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you went all in.
yeah. So
It was so good.
it was so
the
fun.
food was so good.
Four
The
Peaks.
atmosphere was fun.
Yeah.
The game was fun.
Four Peaks had an amazing setup for us.
Sean
They had
at Four
great
Peaks
service.
Nailed
yeah.
it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had our own private area with a massive screen
And great servers.
and the Four Peaks beer. Four Peaks beer.
Oh my God, I had a peach.
I wish I could have had more,
Did you
but
do
you know, I
peach?
had to drive
Wait,
a
Craig,
couple
what
of
did you
other
do?
people. I had the WoW.
Wow.
I went light.
I pushed
went
WoW
easy.
on people,
Yeah.
but I went kilt lifter.
WoW was great.
I
And
went
you
kilt lifter.
ordered a kilt lifter right when we said we needed to leave.
Yeah, and the show started
did
just on
happen.
time, and everything's fine. See, Kelly, I told you the show would start on time, and
Why? Because it went
everybody
to
would be
overtime?
fine.
Just saying.
Everybody was worried. I got text. They were out on the sidewalk. It was funny. They were antsy.
And one thing we didn't mention was at the start of the day when we were at Papago waiting for everyone to arrive, Charles Woodall Pike rolls up with grocery bags full
I never sent
of
a picture.
Circle K snacks.
Can I see the names on these?
No, not on the screen, I don't think. As you can see, if you're watching on YouTube.
Yep.
And to the PHNX staff, Charles had the foresight after the drama of last week and the snack theft in this office.
Yeah.
Charles, in Sharpie, wrote our names on all of these snacks.
So I want to make something clear. Like if these bags end up on the communal table, they have our names on them. So I'm speaking to you, Bo Brock. I'm speaking to you, Eric Ruby.
Can
I'm
Michaela
speaking to
read?
you, Lindsay Smith. I'm speaking to you, Flex.
Flex.
I'm speaking to you, Michaela Perkins, who told me to defend her and then revealed during the interview that she had eaten some. And
Well, the good
do we
news
have other
is-
information, Leah?
Well, I got an anonymous tip
Mm.
yesterday afternoon that she was the one who opened the popcorn.
I will say this, though. Our snacks are safe if they're on the table before noon, because Mac hasn't made it here before noon in 3 years. So that'll be fun if you just get there early in the morning.
So
Not wrong.
thank you, CWP. This is unbelievable. My donuts are in the front. I'll be taking those again because I don't trust y'all.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, thank you, CWP. The
Good
original OG CWP.
Seriously.
And thank goodness he made it to all of our events today. CWP made it to the mountain and he made it to Four Peaks. And thanks, CWP, for everything. As Danielle is almost done with it.
Yes, and thank you to everyone. I know some people couldn't make it, or some people made it to one,
There's
not the
CWP.
other.
There's CWP.
Yeah, this is how
Thanks,
he
CWP.
rolls up today. Awesome stuff.
Thanks,
Look at
CWP.
that.
I just have to say, like
That's
from
money.
a sappy point of view, like covering this team and talking about this team 5 days a week for 2.5 years can be very difficult. But the community is what makes it so worth it.
Amazing.
And the people, like when I was sitting there looking at everyone, I was like, and there's trolls online who think, say, oh, there's no fans, blah, blah, blah. 40 people came to watch a team that had lost 11 straight games with all of the uncertainty surrounding it, and everybody cheered and everybody groaned and everybody turned out on a Sunday afternoon of their day off to come hang out. And I'm just so proud of the community that we built. I'm so happy to call so many people that we've met friends, whether I've known you since our first meetup on the home opener in 2021 or I met you today.
Yeah.
Like, it's just incredible to see. So I just sincerely appreciate every single person who was there and every person who lives out of state and watches at 1 a.m. our post-game shows or wakes up at 5 a.m. wherever you are to watch. Like, it just means a lot. So just want to be sappy for a second. And
I
say
got to
that.
add to that. I got to admit, I showed up in kind of a grumpy mood today. You probably noticed. Yeah. Because you're in tune with grumpy moods.
Because you were also grumpy.
Yeah, you understand grumpy. And you mentioned the trolls. Like, it's been kind of an exhausting month dealing with people online. I'm not going to name names because I don't even want to give them the time of day. But it gets exhausting getting just sort of attacked when you're just trying to do reporting. Look, so I got there in a bad mood. By the time we were up that rock, I was in a great mood.
Yeah.
I was in a great mood, and it's because of you guys. Honestly, it's because of you guys. So thank you for today. You lifted my spirits today. Legitimately lifted my spirits. I had a great day. I had a blast today.
Yeah, and look at everybody piping in that was there. Like Chad was there. We saw Lou there and Joel there and Chris there. The other thing, too, it's not just like we all went there and sat at our separate tables. Like everybody conversed
mingled.
with everybody and everybody made friends with everybody. And it truly is a community. And this team brought all of these people together, and PHNX helped make that happen. And I know that the hockey community sometimes gets forgotten. and they're kind of, they're in the back seat to a lot of the sports here. So it was great to see that community get together and enjoy something together that they all loved. It was unbelievable. I had such a good time, and I can't wait till we get to do it again.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, except for walking outside at 80 degrees, but who's complaining about that? No, it was a lot of fun. Thanks. And there's Chris. Leah knows I like to talk about hockey, and I like to tell people when I'm watching
Petey
what
was
I'm watching.
going table to table doing Petey's puck
Yes,
talk.
I brought whiteboards out. I brought my computer out. I sat with Chris for minutes and say, see, this guy should be here. And I just think once you know what you're watching and looking for, you want to watch it more and you want to be more engaged. And the people there today, everybody was into it. It was so much fun. I can't wait. I'm so proud to be a part of this, and I'm humbled to be a part of this community. And thank you to everybody. Enjoyed it. Great day.
Yeah. And we have a $5 super chat from Altex who said, may I suggest a diehard walk to St. Louis next time? It would take a little over 3 weeks, according to Google Maps. I wish I lived in AZ. OMG, LOL.
Oh,
But
he looked right
Altex,
there.
even though you live in St. Louis, we have met you
Yep.
at our events.
That's true.
So it's, that's why I said it doesn't
That
matter
is
if you
true.
don't live in the state, because you're equally part of the family.
And everybody's a part of the community, whether they're here or not. We're all part of it. We're all #1 pack.
Yep, absolutely.
And the Wiggly Puppy.
Yes, and the Wiggly
And
Puppy.
stay tuned for some video from this event today.
Yes, and the dog may or may
The
not.
dog
have
may
been
or not be
interviewed.
part of Walking
Yeah.
and Talking.
Kelly said the personal Petey's Puck Talk was Molly's favorite part of the day.
Oh, that's really nice. I like to talk hockey. Molly was great today.
Yes.
She's fantastic.
Kelly, wait till Molly sees what's coming soon. If you know, you know. I'll tell you later. Kelly knows.
I have no idea what you're
I
talking
have no idea.
Kelly
I
knows.
have no
All
idea.
right, all right.
Kelly knows.
Have a
Let's-
safe trip, Kelly.
Let's ruin the mood and look at the punch card and see all the red. Woo wee!
This is incredible. Like, can we make it through two complete rows?
This is now worse than the beginning of 2021.
It is. This
We
is the worst
officially-
since we've been on the air.
Scott Wedgwood, please save us.
Can they get Wedgwood for a week?
Seriously.
Can they?
Right, but like the trade deadline's March 8th. There's
Just
time.
get him here for tell them we'll trade him right back. You'll be there for the playoff run. Like just one day. Like trade him now and then trade him back at the trade deadline. Just get it.
I
Wedgie,
agree.
we need you.
Agree.
He's the only guy that can break these streaks.
It's so true. All right. Well, if you're looking to spruce up your home, I'm looking to do some home improvement this spring. I think I mentioned recently that my mom is actually redoing the floors in her house. It's time. A lot of her tiles are cracked. It's old. She's calling Empire Today because Empire Today, not only do they make it so easy to shop at home at your convenience, you don't have to leave your house. You can see what the floor would look like virtually. You can check it out. They do price matches. And the best part is they have easy and professional installation. And that is so important when it comes to a big purchase like your flooring, something that affects your home so much. If you're watching on YouTube, the floor here was installed by Empire Today, and they did such a thorough job. And the second they finished installing, they gave us a call and said, how was it? Is there anything else we can do? And, if you've ever had work done on your house, you know how important the customer service aspect is. And that's what makes Empire Today so great. So if you've kind of been on the fence about redoing your floors, check out Empire Today because they have a great offer. If you schedule a free in-home estimate today, all listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use the promo code PHNX. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/PHNX for details.
And Harold, we'll just meet you at Illegal Pete's and Uber to the arena. I ain't walking anywhere. Harold's down in Tucson. He wants to walk. I'm not walking. But I'm going to tell you this. From our good friends at Heel River Resorts and Casinos, because no one does it better. And we've talked about their state-of-the-art gaming floor with all of the games that they have down there. We've talked about their sports book with the giant TVs that are nearly life-size. But I'm talking today about entertainment. And I want you to check out their entertainment. Go to playheelriver.com and check this out, because here's who's coming to the stage at Wild Horse Pass, where every seat is no farther than 75 feet away from the stage. Craig, you ready? I know I talked about this before, but the Leonard Skinner experience. So they play out. That's great. The Who experience, again, great. But get ready for country superstar Martina McBride is coming in March.
Ooh.
Not the Martina McBride experience. Martina
The
McBride.
actual.
The actual. March 23rd. And the original, the OG Ice Cube. Yeah, he's coming in April. No big deal. Dwight Yoakam, April as well. And Craig's favorite, Wiz Khalifa is coming in April. These people are all coming to a theater that is so intimate you could nearly touch the artist. Go check it out. Like, I'm not kidding. The theater's amazing. You don't have to go to the state of the art gaming floor or even the sports bar. Go for the entertainment. I can't believe they're all coming. My wife and I are going to go because I did not know these people were coming. So all you have to do is go to playhila.com. So you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit play@Gila.com for way more detail. Wiz Khalifa.
Wiz Khalifa.
There you go. Awesome.
You'll pick me up?
I will.
All right.
We'll take a double date. Tara, Heidi, and I.
That sounds right up
Wiz
your guys'
Khalifa.
alley. So, hell yeah.
Ice Cube. If I tell Heidi Ice Cube's coming, buddy, she'll be all over Ice Cube. Are you kidding? Welcome back to the 90s. Okay, sorry.
All right. Well, before we wrap up, I do just want to give a shout out to something that was sent in our Discord. So I want to make sure I shout this out. So thank you to Cheryl for sending this. ASU's women club team has made it to the national championship,
Nice.
which is
Against Utah?
awesome.
I think it's against Utah.
But they have to fundraise the entire cost of their trip because they don't receive funding from the university. So they have a GoFundMe. I know, not everyone is able to give, but if you're able to share the link or give a few dollars, I'm sure they would greatly appreciate it. So I just dropped the GoFundMe link in the chat. If you're able to donate a couple of dollars to help the ASU women's club team get to the national championship. So
awesome.
Supporting the hockey community.
I will do
Arizona.
that as soon as the show's over.
Yeah.
Promise.
Absolutely. All right. Final thoughts on this one.
Better. And there were a lot of good things.
They got a point. First time since February 10th.
I think the forecheck was better, and I think it's important. Goaltending, Ingram was better. Power play was good. They got to stay out of the penalty box, and they need to do that the remainder of the trip because they have to get a win while they're gone on this trip. They just have to. This 12 can't turn into 13, 14, 15. It's just not good. It's not good for the young players to learn that way. It's not good for the mood in the entire room. They've got to get a win.
My final thoughts are, Petey, when I say the car's leaving late in the second period, that means the car's leaving late in the second period. Okay.
Yes, Craig. I'm sorry, Craig.
Sorry.
I will do better.
All right. Well, this was a really great day. Would have been better with the Coyotes win, but we'll take the point. And everybody here in the chat, we appreciate you so much, whether you're listening later or watching live. Be sure to hit the thumbs up on this video before you head out. Thanks again to our intern Raz for sitting in for the first segment. We sincerely appreciate him.
Great.
Again, go check out his work and Craig's work at gophnx.com. You just dropped a Die Hard piece tonight, right?
Yeah, a little earlier today,
okay.
around noon, but I dropped it in the Discord later.
Okay, yeah.
Petey had, you were doing work too before the game. You had a nice little scouting report on the
Yeah,
Jets.
if you want to kind of in retrospect watch what the Coyotes could have done better, go check it out. PHNX Sports YouTube channel, and we have tons of content on PHNX Sports, not just our live shows. So make sure you're a subscriber and make sure you're an audio subscriber as well, because we not only have all of these shows on audio, but in a bonus audio only episode as well. You guys caught up with Josh Doan the end of the week, so that was great.
Did you see Kelly Herman's coming?
Kelly said Kitlifter better than leaving on time. So
she is not wrong.
yeah, that is
She is not
probably on brand. But anyway, so yeah, this was a great day, everyone.
Good day.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
We will be live tomorrow, Monday at 2 p.m. So make sure you tune in then, set a reminder. In the meantime, you can give us a follow on Twitter at SPetersHockey, at Leah Merrill, at Craig S. Morgan, at Abrica Danielle, and follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening, everyone, and we will see you all tomorrow.
All city like the mayor.